Good evening, associates, and welcome to the back room. On tonight's podcast, we have some new things going on. Firstly, I'm your freight thrower, DB. On the line, we have, hopefully stacking the things right, Dre.
Nigga, I stack carts.
And Wesley.
I used to stack things right?
No, you never did.
Oh, okay.
You never did. You barely were even on the line.
Actually, yeah, you're right. I was somewhere either running into the truck or getting mad at our other associate supervisors.
Yep.
Anyway.
So, first on the docket, we have Stranger Thoughts. We'll bring up some random things that pop in my head, so I hope you're prepared. Next, we're going to do What's the Deal? Where I'll post a question and I'll ask our panel, or, people that are making loud noises, what their opinion is on it. Lastly, we have the happenings, where we talk about some of the most popular news of that week. So, let's begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stranger Thoughts, the show where we're just going to be talking about any strange happenings that pops into my head, just see what's going on with my demented soul. So, Wesley.
Yeah?
The best Dark Souls bosses.
Really?
There were like a top 10 that I saw for Dark Souls bosses.
And I guarantee you I know who's exactly at the top of that list.
And who do you think that'd be?
That would be the Firstborn, or rather, the Nameless King.
You really think it's going to be the Nameless King?
I think, because everybody loves that boss fight. It is a really good dynamic boss fight, though.
I would give it more to... I would have given it more to,
The Taken King? I don't know.
Wrong game.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously, wrong
Yeah.
game. Wrong game.
No, not the Taken
Souls.
King, but what's his name? The knight that came from the abyss, broke his arm.
No, you're not talking about Artorias, you're talking about...
Yeah,
Galen?
Artorias.
Oh, Artorias.
I would say Artorias would be up there for a favorite boss.
People are liking Gale now.
What does he do?
He was there just like the main character. Well, not just like the main character, but he was there in the beginning. Basically, he was there for the... he saw what the gods made, and he knew that it had to be either you or him to end it. Basically, bringing on the Dark Age. And so you have a battle in the last DLC for, at the end of the world, and you're basically just fighting to, because this is it. This is like the last, the last hurrah before they bring in the end of it, the Dark Age. And so people just like the aesthetic of it.
No, okay.
Well, I mean, long story short, Dark Souls as a series itself is basically about the cycle being stopped. Because
Stalled.
Stopped. It was stopped in its tracks.
It was stopped in 2. It was stalled in this one. I mean, in all...
No. This one, it's pretty much like almost done.
Yeah. But it's still been a stalled process.
I would say it stopped.
Even when you complete the game, you still can link the fire. It's so weak. It can barely do much. You're not...
Well, that's the reason why you have to go around and collect that many souls. That's the reason why you buff yourself up, because ultimately you're taking all of that power and turning it into fuel.
Yeah.
One thing I never really understood about Dark Souls is that it's basically feeding off of, I guess, people's fears. Seems like.
How do you
It seems like that's the whole thing about all the Soul series, with Souls and Bloodborne and everything like that. Like, it's feeding off of, like, the primal fears of man, the ones during the Dark Ages where it's like, these creatures that are basically like shadow remnants of like dark times. And then you've got like Bloodborne, which is like the horror-esque Cthulhu type monsters,
All of the games...
It just seems to feed off a lot of fear and everything like that.
It's not just fear. What it is perspective. It's perspective of you as humanity, basically, in its endeavors, ultimately ending all ending basically. Because everything that you can do to extend your life, even with the prospects of eternal life and, uploading your brain to the cloud and all of this stuff. I mean, you're always, as a race, looking for something. You're looking for to gain something, for to continue something. And when there's nothing left, what do you have? It's like you're talking about, like even now, like I'm watching this gameplay.
It's like the only thing you get when you get immortality is the ability to watch everything you know and love fail and die around you.
I don't think I could live forever. Like, would y'all choose to live forever? Like, I guess to bridge off of that, would y'all choose to immortality to live forever?
For me, and this is coming from two perspectives, because I am a Christian and I like to think about the science realm of these things and how things are psychologically, and how they can mess with you as a person. Yeah, I would say yes and no. I would say yes because I would love to see what it would all look like in the end. When everything blows up around you and you get to see that final flash of the sun just before you're cooked into oblivion. I would think that would be cool. And along the way, probably discovering a bunch of different ways and methods of how civilizations can continue without the structure of the universe once it completely dissolves. It might not ever happen that way, but you never know.
But having to meet new people, make new friends, and everything like that,
it's an attachment.
It's a task.
It is a task, and you get attached. And with humans, they love to hold on to the things of. But this is to say, what would you be at that point? Would you be human if you live forever? Because that's debatable.
Would you even recognize what humans are? And because that's the whole thing, is that people are constantly changing. Like, if you alive from now might not look like what people look like in 1,000 years.
Yeah. It's like...
And would anybody even... it's like... You would be like the super grandpa.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if immortality also came with the whole, you stayed in your prime?
Even if you stayed
forever.
in your prime, the relationship that you share with people still, You are a product not only of your parents, but of the society that you grew up in. Where you grew up and how you grew up determines who you are more than a lot of other factors. And that will stay with you, despite the world changing. That's why it's so easy to see a lot of old people as out of touch. Because they are a product of their time, not just where they live. If you were around in 1,000 years, there is no relation to where you grew up. It's like asking somebody who lived in the Pharaoh's Egypt to relate to us now.
I think it would go on a kind of something like that, but I think you would eventually learn to adapt to the times for each different decade or generation or 100 years that you lived in. I think you would be able to adapt to it.
But not synergize perfectly.
But the thing is, I think the thing that will leave you most out of touch with it would be you would forget who you are.
Of course you would. Well,
you would.
You wouldn't forget who you are. You are who you are at that moment. What you are right now is who you are.
Right.
Who you were, 10 years ago isn't who you are right now.
Yeah.
But you would probably be questioning, oh yeah, that was me in a past life. It's like, what if
you in a past life? But Brad, you didn't even die yet.
But take it like this. What if 200 years later, someone shows you a picture of something in a magazine or whatever like that, and you're like, oh yeah, that was me. I don't remember that though.
Well, see, if you live for 200 years and you still were in your prime, you'd probably be a lot more secretive about that shit.
I mean, yeah, of course.
I mean, the inevitable, somebody's going to want to know your secret, and then they're going to lock you in a small room and vivisect you.
Unless you're a superhero like Wonder Woman, They found, Bruce Wayne found that picture of her on the secret drive, and it was the guitar riff going, and then it's like, is this you? It's like, this picture was in 1917. It's like, who are you? You're like, oh yeah, I'm just a goddess from a mystical island where we can live forever. But I gotta go back every, 100 years or else I lose my immortality.
I've got to recharge the batteries.
Exactly.
Energizer Bunny.
Just keep going and going and going and going
until I have to take a
going.
sabbatical.
Pretty much. But, I mean, I kind of like that about, I guess, it gives a hamper. What if you had immortality, but you had to go to a certain spot every, 100 years or so? Think of it kind of like a Ra's al Ghul type thing.
Or a Shangri-La type situation. I
Yeah,
would never leave.
Well, then that wouldn't mean... wouldn't be immortality.
No, it would still be immortality. You can't die, but you just... There's a catch.
But no, see, the thing is that whenever you put a stipulation on what you can do, a rule... What is it? God, the law of something. If it's going to happen, it'll happen.
Like one of those...
Or if it could happen, it'll happen.
Or like one of those, you get this, but this is the side effects.
No, but see, the thing is that if you have to keep revisiting a place in order to maintain your immortality, or you
eventually
have to do
you won't.
Exactly. There will be no... Because, I mean, come on. We already know about heat death. We know about entropy. We know about what could happen when everything in the universe blows up or, fizzles out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You would essentially not live long enough to see it, regardless of what capacity you hold.
I mean, to me, I would never leave, because if it's me there, that if I found it, that means somebody else has found it, which means that would be the community I'd want to stick with, because those are the people that would be around 300 years later.
But see, this is also bringing into what do we classify as immortality and what do we classify as, our immortality. Because we brought this up because of the whole Dark Souls thing, but if you take a look at how these creatures changed over the courses of, like how the gods changed over the course of each game, then over the course of each game, there's been thousands of years in between each game. So,
well, you say thousands, but you keep forgetting that time in the Dark Souls universe is convoluted,
right,
partially because of what was done.
Yeah, but again, it's like you're not
Bringing
looking
it
at
back.
You're not looking at Gwen the same way like how you did.
Well,
when
you can't look at Gwyn the same way, because the first time you meet him, he's a piece of Slim Jim.
Yeah, he is. No, but again, it's like if you were to take yourself right now and yourself, like how I was talking about before, put yourself in this state of being able to go through the net and
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, you're in this whole Ghost in the Shell complex thing, right? And you carried that throughout the rest of your immortality. Well, yeah, you would need some form of a catalyst to maintain that. Probably like a little orb that holds your main.
No. See, you're describing things that don't exist yet. You don't need anything as long as the support structures exist.
Right.
Because even then, you're not immortal. Because guess what? Technology fails, which means that you're going to need somebody to maintain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's always a catch. Yeah. Like in Dark Souls themselves, the undead are immortal. Unfailingly immortal. Until their souls fail.
I mean, what if you made yourself kind of like a virus? Like, you made yourself like a virus, and then...
Me.
Yeah. You just become that guy.
Me too? Everybody under 9 years old would not get that reference.
Nope. But, I mean, it's an awesome movie, so they should watch it. And it works. Forever. And always.
That was such a good sequence.
I mean, just that second movie alone, though, it just made... the second movie just made him like unstoppable force, immovable object between the two of them.
Well, yeah. Well, because think about it this way.
Neo
is a force of change.
Yeah.
Because everything's worked a certain way, but there's a side effect of... Now you have Mr. Anderson, who might actually be the actual one that they're talking about in Prophecy. And he is
You talking about the prequel that they're playing on?
No, I'm talking about Anderson actually fits all the actual designations of the one, just the
The
same as
one.
Neo does.
Yeah.
It's one of those wonderful... The prophecy speaks about multiple people that fit the same description. We don't exactly know which one it is.
Yeah.
Neville Longbottom. That's right.
Yes, Neville was a badass.
What would Neville have been that badass if Harry hadn't been there?
Exactly.
I mean, if Harry would have got smoked, I think Neville would have stepped up.
No, if Harry had got smoked early on when Neville was still in training, it's the fact that Harry held him off for goddamn 7 years while the adults sat around with their thumbs up their butts. Harry held this guy off for 6 years.
Yeah.
With what could be argued as moderate to minimal assistance. Neville couldn't have stepped up to shit if Harry didn't hand Voldemort's ass to him like 7 times.
Possibly.
Including going around with Dumbledore and destroying a bunch of the Horcruxes.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They should have did that like a Logan moment where he's just like riding around and. Nah, never mind. That probably
actually, that would have been weird because it would have been Harry in the driver's seat because Dumbledore couldn't. That would have been weird because Dumbledore can't drive in a freaking truck. He didn't know what a truck was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But I mean, like immortality in of itself to me is, and I think a lot of people realize that now. It's just a thing you don't want. I mean, unless you're a sociopath and you don't give a fuck about anything and you just want to play a game with a bunch of people's lives and then just watch how the world burns.
I mean, unless I got powers like Alucard, I don't think immortality would be fun.
You want to talk about a nihilist? Because you're talking about Helsing Alucard. I know exactly what you're talking about. He is the ultimate nihilist.
Yeah, he is.
He would... That is... Oh, boy. No...
I mean,
that's like walking around with a freaking void in you.
If I'm gonna be immortal, then I might as well have every single thing at my disposal at all times to do. You know, I might as well just be omnipotent and everything like that. You know,
yeah, but you do realize that the common trait that we assign immortals is boredom.
Yeah,
because if you've seen everything and done everything, then you literally live your life for novelty.
I don't know. I guess after a while, I'll probably just like start destroying the world and then rewind it back to that point and think, No, not even that. Destroy entire countries. Then show up in 50 years and help them build back up into shining examples of what a country could be, just to destroy it again. Because each time you destroy it, you want to see how it breaks. Now that is sick.
That's sick. And I'm terrified of both of you.
That's what I'm talking about. You live your life for novelty. What is new? You know, it's like you go to that thing and you go, man, what haven't I done? Well, I haven't found a person, dragged them into a cave, stripped them of all their flesh, and then soaked the stripped flesh in salt.
You know what would be even more better is making a Shogun hero that keeps his memory of you always destroying.
You know what is new though? If you keep living forever,
oh man,
porn and Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean, you can
always new. It's always new.
Dude, if you're immortal, you don't have to worry about freaking diseases. You can probably go out and have all the sex you want in all the positions you want. There's only so many ways the human body can contort.
Yeah.
How long do you go before you're cutting new holes in people and fucking them?
I'm just getting contortionists, like, all the time. It's like contortionists all the time.
Oh my god.
So, what is this, human centipede formation? Sure, I'll try it.
No, it's not.
You're like, I haven't tried that in 100 years.
Alright, what are you talking about? I just thought of it. No, you haven't.
No,
nah.
No, you haven't.
Same thing, different ass. Now, we're going to have a little break in between the podcasts.
You got rickety wrecked.
I got it so hard.
We're going to have a little break in between the podcasts for the next segment.
It's a new type of build house.
So, we'll be back. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is DB from the Backroom Crew, and if you like in-depth discussions about anime, comic books, video games, etc., check out us, the Backroom Crew, at youtube.com/the BRC guys, Facebook and Twitter at Backroom Crew 1, and twitch.tv at the Backroom Crew. For all your nerdy news, reviews, and everything else, like games, convention coverage, and much more. This is DB.
And this is Wesley from the Backroom Crew. And if you like nerdy discussions about stuff from anime
to Zambonis.
Yeah,
Zamboni. You know, like the thing for hockey that you ride on the rink.
Okay.
They're cool.
Whatever.
Anyway, follow us on YouTube at BRC Guys.
Facebook and Twitter at Backroom Crew 1.
And Twitch at The Backroom Crew for all your nerdy news, reviews, and everything else like games, convention coverage, and much more.
And remember, check out the Quick Corner with Wes and DB right here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Backroom Crew podcast. This section, we're going to be dealing with What's the Deal? The part where I basically pose a question to, everybody that is, talking in the podcast. And I'm going to ask their opinion about it. And lastly, give my opinion on it, pretty much what I feel about the subject at hand. So, if you've ever listened or watched the videos for What's the Deal on our YouTube channel, then you know that pretty much this is going to be some things that I know a little bit about, or, I know a lot about, or, someone that we're going to have on the podcast is going to know a lot about. So, let's begin. And I'm going to ask, what's the deal with anime live action movies? So,
what's the deal? They don't get the support they need to have decent visuals.
I mean, in all honesty, like, how many have we had? How many have we had?
I don't want to go through the cavalcade of misery that is the live action anime movie.
Oh, okay, so you're just talking about straight live action adaptations of anime.
Yes.
Okay, well then, no, they suck. God, we were talking about, what is it? Death Note coming out from Netflix.
Yeah.
That, it kind of has a good feel for it.
Have you seen the trailer for that?
I have seen the trailer for it. It has that kind of gritty, like, darker feel. I just know they are going to mess it up, though. I mean, it's hard to do anime. It really is.
This sounds familiar. This sounds like me a couple months ago before they released Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
What was that?
I mean, I have not faith, but I have a reasonable amount of confidence that Netflix can get it right.
I mean, and the fact that they're doing, like, the really good ones
but
that
it's
fans
not
like.
just Netflix. Netflix branches out into other developers.
Mm-hmm. Netflix does branch out into other developers, but Netflix also has a lot of experience doing, Marvel stuff. And, I mean, if you want to have baby step stuff, go with American comics, because those tend to be a bit more mundane.
Mm-hmm.
When you want really weird-ish, you go with the Japanese stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, you can't get the weird out. I mean, and it also comes from a different perspective.
Well, I mean,
because you have
it's easy to do something like Death Note. Because really, it's modern day. The only really weird thing is literally a composition notebook. And maybe the occasional appearance by Ryuk. And that's pretty much it. The other Death Gods don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They're up there chilling, playing whatever, and doing nothing.
I mean, for what it's worth, Netflix is probably like one of the best platforms because they're looking to add up like a lot of different things. They're going to add up The Witcher, and they're going to add up not Hellsing. I keep thinking Hellsing, but it's not Hellsing. Castlevania.
Oh yeah.
They're going to add up Castlevania as well.
I still think Hellsing would have been a better choice.
Hey, and see, that's another thing. And I believe me and you talked about it before, Dre. Did we put Hellsing on that list?
Yes, we did.
We put Hellsing on that list, but we said that it would have to be someone that understood how horror, and not only horror, but also how monster movies work like
they
that.
They could just go boring and do Black Butler. That would be awesome.
No, but you know what? You know who would have been a great butler? The Hellsing butler?
Mm-hmm.
Freaking, what's his name? He played Charlemagne. He was in Lord of the Rings as Saruman, the White.
Oh, you're talking about Christopher Lloyd.
Yes.
Not Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lee.
Yeah, Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
The one with the metal album. He would have been a badass dude.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he has left us to the greater rock god skies above.
God, can you imagine that? Just a complete solo as you just go.
Yeah. Just a death metal man playing you up. It'd just be amazing. But yeah, I mean, the adaptations for anime, they're been hit and miss pretty much.
What are you talking about? Hit and miss. We're talking XCOM accuracy rates here. You can have a 95% still whiff that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but okay, this is coming from somebody that did not see Ghost in the Shell. I have not seen that yet.
Okay.
But
you should watch that.
The source of the problem was stop being the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be the problem.
Okay. I'm going to admit that I am that guy. But anything before that, I can't see anything. Even in Japan, well, I don't even want to say even in Japan, because Japan they put out some really good movies.
Japan is on and off with some of their adaptations as well.
But it's mostly off.
Well, okay. We look at, like, they have
the exhibit
Full Metal
presents
Alchemist.
Death Note 1 through 3.
Yeah, Death Note 1 through 3. It's like, that went so far left field from the original story. And now they're doing, they just did they did another live action Death Note, not the stage play, but one based off of multiple Death Notes and multiple killers.
Why didn't they just go with Corpse Party?
I don't know.
That would have been even better.
Yeah, but
they would have got the horror out of there. They would have got their ghost stories, everything basically. That was complete gore factor. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you want to do horror, you have to do Korean horror because that shit's freaky.
We've seen Korean horror.
Yeah. I mean, but you turned my eyes to them doing a live adaptation of Shiki Dre, and I agree with you now. I mean, thinking about it, I was like, could it? It could, but it'd be kind of weird with some parts of it. But a live adaptation of Shiki would actually be very good. It's that horror-esque, but it's that old school vampire feel.
It builds dread and tension because you know stuff is going on, but you don't know exactly how it's happening. And so, with the constant focus on certain villagers and not what the actual antagonists are doing, you kind of slowly build up to it, and that's what makes it good.
Right. But I mean, with that having like some, I guess, Western European influence as well, do you think that's probably like a problem with a lot of the adaptations for anime, that if it doesn't have a more westernized influence, it probably can't be adapted over here as easily?
What are you talking about? Last Samurai.
Well, hold on now.
That wasn't based off of anime, though.
No, it wasn't based off of anime. But what I'm
saying... But I mean...
But
like,
yeah.
But I mean, you
and
can't...
he still gets a lot of flack for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know. But, I mean, like, all it really needs to be is good. The influence, Western, Eastern, Southern, Northern, whatever, doesn't really matter as long as it's shot well.
But see, now you're talking about taking out certain elements that actually bring depth to the stories. Like,
I'm not talking about... I'm saying as long as it's done well. It doesn't matter what the influence is.
But you're talking about the Japanese mythology.
Well, it's not like, for instance, Shiki barely has any Japanese. The bit of Japanese lore they cover is the fact that the warding barriers were broken prior to the vampires' arrival. But the vampires are classic European, noble.
But really,
creatures.
Who knows what warding is?
The Asians do a lot of that.
I know, but who over in America, your average moviegoer that doesn't...
Well, I mean, everybody's seen one of those exorcism movies where the priest shake water at a demon and the demon laughs and then strangles the priest to death in front of the other priest.
Exactly, but that's not warding. That's something else. It's along
well, I mean,
I guess... But
you're a preacher, so you should know about it. Like,
but what he's talking about... What? That's not normal practices, Trey. That's not normal practices. But
we in that non-denomination. I'm not.
You're like, he's Southern Baptist, man. He ain't like full Catholicism over there.
We walk into the house with robes on.
It's like you hear your daughter rapping lyrics to a rap song, be like, she's talking in tongues. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. Dad, stop throwing water in my eyes. That's not the way that works. But I guess what he's trying to say is that there's a divide. Is that what you're trying to get at, Wesley?
It is a little bit of a divide culturally.
Yeah, like a divide culturally between like Western and Eastern or whatever. I mean, like, 2 examples. I'll bring them up. Japanese adaptations of live action. Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
If neither of those were shot in Germany, they failed.
They didn't shoot them in Germany. I think they shot Full Metal Alchemist on that abandoned island in Japan. That's like the tall apartment buildings. Like you ever seen Skyfall?
Yeah.
Yeah. That island that was in Skyfall. I think that's where they shot Attack on Titan at. Okay. And I'm not sure where they shot. They must have shot Full Metal Alchemist in the countryside.
It doesn't seem like they had a lot of money to their projects.
And it shows.
Yeah.
But then again, this is not really meant for global worldwide release, and really nothing is an inescapable black hole of money like Hollywood is. Mm-hmm. Other than Bollywood.
What was the name of it?
Which one?
Tip of my tongue. Scar on the face.
Rurouni Kenshin?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yes.
I love that.
But it's really a Japanese period piece.
It was still good.
It's like going to England and getting a movie about King Arthur. They can't fuck it up.
They fucked up this recent King Arthur.
They did fuck it up.
Was that American or was that European?
Man, they painted the CGI out there. They just blatant.
In the new King Arthur?
They got the paint bucket and it just said screw order. We're just throw it up there and just gonna just slap it.
See, so
I mean, it's the exact opposite. Like they just did a CinemaSins on the old King Arthur movie, and they sinned it so hard for being what was essentially a more grounded historical recreation of what King Arthur might have been like.
Which one are we talking about? Did they do this? Did they do the CinemaSins King Arthur on Sean Connery, or
no?
The
this
one
is the
after
one.
that?
This is the one where they were Roman
with Orlando Bloom.
No, that wasn't the one with Orlando Bloom. That was the one with God, what's his name? Starts with a. It's something Oliver.
Oliver. Oh no, you're talking about. You're not talking about King Arthur. You're
something
talking
Clive,
about
something.
Yeah, I think Clive Owens.
Clive Owen. Clive Owen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a King Arthur movie with Clive Owen, like where he was. I think he was Arthur or something,
okay.
But they were all Romans, like Roman legionaries.
Yeah, that was it.
It was a really grounded movie.
That's a little bit too early, isn't it, for King Arthur?
Well, no,
it kind of is.
It was romanticized in the 1700s, and so so the story had a lot of that flair added to it because when you think of people going into battle, you think of knights because knights are the noble ones.
You know, the best King Arthur I ever got was King Arthur I watched in school, where it was about Camelot, and they sang the Camelot song. Camelot, Camelot, I know it sounds a bit bizarre. That was the best King Arthur movie I ever seen. Period. Putting it down right now. It was basically, I don't know, I guess it was like a musical Camelot King Arthur, but it was amazing. It was amazing balls. Best one I seen. I mean, Sean Connery's one was pretty good because it did the whole Viking funeral for him, which was kind of awesome, but you know, nothing beats that one.
Oh God, what was the one? I saw it. This was one of my first had nudity in it movies. It was a King Arthur story. It was, oh God, this was cassette. It was a long time ago.
Was it the miniseries?
No, it was a full movie. Like, and it was rough. Like, I mean, that movie was hardcore rough. Like, it wasn't like one of the movies that you would, like, take your kids to. It was like, oh, hey, let's go see this.
You might have been watching porn, man. King Arthur Triple X.
Real talk. In the beginning, you had, God, I don't think it was Arthur.
Lancelot?
No.
Galahad?
I don't know.
Gawain?
Tristan?
Home guy came from the battle, and he just straight up went to town on homegirl. And you just watched it, and it was just raw. It was like they were legit doing it, like, but it wasn't a porn. It was a full movie.
That sounds like Lancelot, because Lancelot would probably do that to Gwen.
You know what it could be? Could be actually Face Day Night. That's a good segue there, because Face Day Night used to be a porn. Ha! Oh, got it!
Yeah, no.
Face Day Night, I think that'd be a pretty cool concept for a movie.
Only Fate Zero.
You know, I told you before what would be a good concept for it. I told you before.
No, because the main character of Stay Night is a horrible pile of trash and he needs to die. And stay dead.
I really think it should be a 3-part. A pre-story before Zero, then Zero is the second one with basically being it like, you know, Empire Strikes Back with the bad guy winning, and then Fate Stay Night to end it all. I think that would make for a good trilogy.
It'd make for a depressing ending, though. Because it's like, you get the lead up, you get how serious it is, you get the professional suave assassin.
I mean...
You get all the slick maneuvers, and then you end with this derpy shit.
There it is. It was John Borman's Excalibur. That movie should have been the stipend of what this movie is coming up. That movie went so hardcore, you have no idea, bro.
But I mean...
I
don't think you can include the sex parts with the Fate Stay Night game.
What?
Yeah, in Fate Stay Night game, it was...
Well, it was because it's like you fucked your spirit to power it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, God,
yeah.
is this a... Oh, no, that wasn't him.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, 3 parts, basically make it like a Star Wars series or whatnot. And you wouldn't even have to invite, like, the same cast except, you know, King Arturia. She would be the only one that you would have in all of them. So that would be the best part, you know? Other than that, you just have, you know, new cast every time. Maybe, Toka. You have her, because I forget, I think she was in Zero for a little bit, if I remember correctly.
Who?
Toka, the mage girl. The mage girl wear black and red all the time.
Oh, Rin Tosaka.
Yeah, Tosaka. That's her name.
Tostada.
So you would have her in most of them. But I guess I guess going with this as far as like everyone's personal opinion, do you think that anime movies can work here? And if they can, do they have to be...
You've already got proof. Edge of Tomorrow.
Well, no, here's the thing. I'm saying, will anime movies work? And if they can, do you have to basically change them completely to adapt them to American audiences? Or can you be like, okay, everyone's named the same way that they were?
The way that Troll Hunter got, a subtle fan base. The same way Let the Right One In got a fan base. Mm-hmm. The world is global enough now that you don't actually have to adapt for the audience. All you have to do is make sure, like I was saying before, make sure that the tone and the setting and the characters match what's in the story.
Right.
But then also you got to think about your pacing. You have to think about how the movie's actually going to turn out. Because I got to tell you, and working with some of these smaller sets that I've been on, even if you come up with a 100-page script for a movie, that's going to get condensed. And you have to make sure that in its consolidation, you're not losing out on what actually makes it fit. That's why you got so many crap movies out here now. Because these guys get on set and they're like, okay, yeah, we got this full, 100 plus, 120, 30, whatever page script. We're going to blow through this thing. We're going to make it good. But then you start shooting it, and then you got to worry about what your actors are doing, what your executive producer is trying to get across, and it's all just revolving around the same concept of how are we going to get the best profit out of this.
I figured that what they would do would be to shoot the entire movie and then cut it down for a cinematic audience. You shoot the entire thing in full, and then you cut out things to condense it. You can cut out scenes because if they don't have a direct impact to the story to maintain story flow. But then what you can then do later is just release the entire uncut thing.
And that would work in an ideal setting. But then you also have to think about contract terms, leases, all that other stuff. People can't just stay on set for a whole year.
Yeah, because they got other movie obligations and everything like that. But
really play with this thing.
But no. I think a movie based around Fate Zero's character and cast would be really interesting. A lot of the characters in Fate Zero had strong motivations. There was a lot of good interaction between them. It showed that even the noble spirits had personalities, and thoughts and desires behind them. They weren't just mindless automatons built to fight. And that part of what made them who they were is the conditions under which they were summoned. That's the reason why Lancelot, who would have normally been a saber type, was summoned as a berserker. As a result, he was a fucking crazy ass badass.
Right.
But he was also terrifying because he didn't get a lot of chances to express themselves. It allowed for mages to come across as noble and empathetic and also sociopathic and inestimably cruel.
Right.
Because who the fuck does that to a small girl?
Yeah.
Somebody that's just...
I mean,
not gonna,
in original lore, Medea, murdered kids and used them as a prop to basically prove to her husband that, haha, look what I did. So,
I know, but bitches be crazy.
Shit.
Be crazy, bro.
But, alright, so I guess I'll go ahead. I think one of the things I like about anime adaptations for, live action and everything like that, I like that some of them are actually changing stuff around to make it, like audience. Like the way that Death Note is making it a American high school kid, and they're changing Misa more, instead of that pop star, they're changing her into like, the popular cheerleader girl or whatnot like that. I like that because it's something that we as, growing up and as an American kid can relate to. As far as like...
Same impact, just as vapid.
Yeah, it's like in Japan they have idols. They have, these stars that
are preteens or teenagers.
Yeah, they have that all the time. We don't have that, so we can't relate to that. As far as a smart kid that is like kind of an outcast, but he's probably one of the most intelligent people in his school.
Also sociopath.
Yeah, also a sociopath. You have that. So, I mean, depending on how the author or, the director would make it, if they make it like, if they make it from the mind, like you just said, from the mind of a school shooter, if they make it from that point of view, then I think it'll be a very good dynamic.
That's kind of dark, bro.
It's dark, but it will work.
Death Note is about a dude that murders hundreds of people.
Yes. I'm not saying he's gonna turn
based
the
on his own.
I'm just saying real life dark.
Yes. Believe me, it's real life dark. But it being on Netflix and it being with the subject matter that's at hand, I think it will really work.
As long as they don't puss out, it should be fine.
Right. And as long as...
Well, actually, no, this is Netflix we're talking about, so never mind.
Yeah. And as long as when they do the mocap on Ryuk with William Dafoe, he dances like a dream. As long as they do that, I'm fine with it.
Like, the only other people I think that could even pull something like this off is HBO at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
HBO would be one of the other best places for it.
Not Cinemax, though?
No. Cinemax hasn't done anything in a while.
Yeah.
But
Cinemax.
Showtime and Cinemax do more like live action stuff like Power and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do social commentary.
Yeah,
things that
drama.
can high what is it? High return for low cost.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves a show about people in suits arguing with each other incessantly. It's like, but dude, haven't you turned on CNN? That's all you get.
Yeah. House of Cards.
Just watch the Fox stream. That'll be all your entertainment. Just right there.
House of Cards and what's that other show everybody watches with the family that basically all of them do drugs in it?
What is it? Not Californication.
Yeah.
You're talking about...
I thought you were talking about Revenge for a minute, and then you're like, oh, they all do drugs. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's like a family that all the... It's like...
God, I know what you're talking about, too. I can't even get...
It's got William H. Macy in it.
Yeah. God, what's the name of that show? Was it Lifeless or something? Or... God, no.
Yeah. I'll look it up real quick. William...
Oh my gosh. What is this?
Macy.
Family... Who? What's that family that does all the drugs?
Shameless.
Shameless. Okay.
Shameless,
yep.
yeah.
I know it was
Shameless.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to take another little break here, guys, and we'll be back with the last segment of our podcast. Stay tuned.
Alright everybody, hello. This is your favorite Wesley here from the Backroom Crew. Just reminding you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Backroom Crew 1, YouTube at BRC Guys, and Twitch at The Backroom Crew. This is DB, and this is Wesley from the Backroom Crew. And if you like nerdy discussions about stuff from anime
To Zambonis.
Zambonis.
Yeah, Zamboni. You know, like the thing for hockey that you ride on the rink.
Okay,
They're cool.
or whatever.
Anyway, follow us on YouTube at BRC Guys
Facebook and Twitter at Backroom Crew 1.
and Twitch at The Backroom Crew for all your nerdy news, reviews, and everything else like games, convention coverage, and much more.
And remember, check out the Quick Corner with Wes and DB right here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Backroom Crew podcast. In this segment, we're going to be talking about the happenings. Pretty much what's been happening on in the week of May the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and start with some of the recent stuff that came. We got some new trailers this week. Last trailer for The Mummy, the last trailer for the War of the Planet of the Apes. We got a new trailer for the Black Lightning series. And we had a reveal for Mera, that's going to be an Aquaman movie, which started its recording, it started filming today. So that's some of the basic stuff we got. One of the big things that I saw pop up on the feed is a crossover with Adventure Time and the regular show. So
That's
gonna get everybody's thoughts about that. It's basically the series will see Adventure Time's Princess Bubblegum send Finn and Jake on a quest to find the power, the only thing that can save Ooh from the powerful new villain threatening to conquer it. Only there's one hitch. Regular show's Skip is hiding it, but when Finn and Jake show up in Mordecai and Rigby City on their quest for the power, it strains an existing tension between the two fun-loving bros. To make matters worse, the ensuing trip back to Ooh sparks problems between Finn and Jake, putting two friendships in danger. Now, this isn't going to be a live action or a cartoon one because if you know, the regular show cartoon has gone off the air, but it's going to be a comic.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah. I've seen more interesting stories happen with Adventure Time alone than, just some fetch quest.
Right.
So.
Hell, they've had fetch quests that were more interesting than that.
Fetch quest.
This feels like some weird. It feels like some sort of weird cash-in thing, since everybody's all about what is it, Steven Universe now and transforming ladies.
No, after what is it? Film Theory did that film theory on Rick and what's that other show?
Rick and Morty?
No, Rick and Morty and that other show. What other show is that?
The Others?
No. God, what's the name of that show?
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah, it was a something Falls.
Gravity Falls?
Gravity Falls. Yeah. Ever since they did that, that's all I want to see. Like, I just want to see that.
Just want to see Gravity Falls?
No, I want to see how they would cross over their universe. I mean, they're not going to do it because they already explicitly said that
one is on Disney and one is on Adult Swim?
No, one is both of the creators of both shows are best friends, and they've used the same elements in each other's show, particularly using the portals to toss like 3 specific items through it. Mm-hmm. And then like you also have references to like other more powerful entities and all that stuff that cross dimensions, and so the workings for something like that to happen are more likely. And I was just more excited about that because, I mean, God, come on, it's freaking...
Well, they're using magic, and you know how Skips is like all about different types of mystical stuff going on.
See, but that requires that you appreciate regular show.
Yeah,
I think you're the only one that does.
Hey, I love regular show.
I'm not going to say that it's a bad show or anything. I just, I haven't gotten as invested to be able to be, excited off of another effects.
Yeah.
You know me, like when it comes to shows like that where I see one and then I get hooked and I mainline the entire thing. I've watched multiple episodes of regular show and it's never grabbed me.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
Most of it happens to deal with, God, what's his name? The bird. What's the bird's name?
Mordecai?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of it's got to do with Mordecai.
I can't deal with his social awkwardness. I don't know what it is. It's just,
You have multiple people around you that are socially awkward all the time.
I know, but I can deal with you because you're in real life and I don't have much of a choice. It's like, I mean, I could leave, but then I'm the dick. So I just like, hey.
I mean, you're acting like he's Shinji and won't get in the fucking robot. That's not the case at all.
Oh, man.
Not the case.
Nah, but I mean, if it's gonna happen, it's cool. It's just the same thing with Snafu and me. You know, all those cartoons are done with basically. But if you're gonna keep the story going,
I mean, if you really want to consider it this way, the most interesting parts about Adventure Time aren't Finn and Jake.
Yeah, it's about the history of Ooh.
It's the history of Ooh and the supporting characters. Like Marceline, the story between Marceline and Princess Bubblegum. The background story of Mr. Starchy. Or that Peppermint Butler is actually a pretty high-class demonologist. And is, frankly, very obviously lawful, like, at least lawful evil.
Yeah, he's pretty.
yeah.
Awesome.
He's like, yeah, I just have his soul trapped here, and I'm just going to interrogate it to find out what's going on. Because nobody harms the princess. Nobody.
Some of the other stuff we got going on, happening in this week. We had game releases with Injustice 2, a new fighting game by the makers, NetherRealm.
The makers of
Mortal Kombat and
Injustice 1, yeah.
Yeah, so we got that came out this week. One of the things also Andre noticed is that they remade Phantom Dust for the PC and Xbox.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
It's not a remake, it's a re-release because some asshat at Microsoft decided to cancel the re-engineering of Phantom Dust. The same way they decided to cancel Scalebound, so now Microsoft has no games.
They have games, man.
They got the games, man.
Okay, name one thing that released recently that wasn't a multi-platform release.
Halo.
How recent was that?
Another thing, they're doing pretty much the I guess the first playthroughs of Destiny 2.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be revealed tonight. Actually.
Yes,
Oh,
that's supposed
wow.
to be revealed. This is May 18th, so yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
What time?
I saw it on Eurogamer, so it said 7 p.m. BST.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
BST, mind you, so that's British Standard, so that might be that might still be going on, but
Wait, 7 what?
BST.
7 a.m. or p.m.?
That's PM BST.
It's PM, dude. I mean, come on, you're talking about gamers. It's PM.
But this is, remember, this is Eurogamer, so this is like probably like,
That might have
it's
happened
British
like,
time.
if that's the case, that might have happened like 12 hours ago.
Not 12 hours ago, but more like maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah. But, that came out,
I'm saying.
and one of the other things that...
Probably video of it.
Yeah, more than likely they have like a video on it if it wasn't a stream, One of the other things that I see that came up, they're making a Life is Strange sequel.
Yes. My body is ready.
Your body is ready for
You know what I
teenage
want?
girls.
You know what I want? I don't want a
willing
Life is
and-
Strange sequel.
I am willing and ready. I am going to lay down, pour butter on my body, and turn on my Xbox.
Oh God, no! Oh, everything about this is wrong. I remember when you started playing that game, and it just seemed so weird because
Chloe is waifu.
it's nothing you ever even. It's nothing that is in your repertoire of playing before.
All I gotta say is Chloe's waifu, man.
I mean, it's essentially a Telltale game.
Yeah,
No, not Chloe. Screw Chloe. No.
What?
It's, God, what's the girl?
Chloe's the main character, ain't she?
No, Chloe's not the main character. It's Max that's the main character. What's the one girl?
The blue hair girl?
No, the one that gets bullied.
Oh, the main character?
No, the one that gets bullied. No!
I
The
thought
main
it was the
character's a time traveler.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about, God, what's her name?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know if I saw you play that part.
Dude, no, that part had me, like, I was watching Cry. I was watching Cry play it. And he made the mistake of making the girl, spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't
It's
already
been out for
played the
forever.
game.
Shut up, go.
That he ended up making the girl commit suicide. And I was just, I screamed, I threw my phone, dude, I freaked out. I was like, you need to check the Bible verse. Just say the right Bible verse. Why not? I was like going off.
Wow.
I legit had to drop my phone and walk away from watching the playthrough because I couldn't deal with it. It was like I literally just watched somebody kill themselves. That's how invested that show got me into it. I mean, that game got me into it. And I was just like, I was in it, dude. I was in it.
Yeah.
Well, when Cry plays stuff, it's interesting because it feels almost like narration.
Yeah. I was so pissed.
So based off of the end of it, do you think it'll be a direct sequel, or you think it'll be like a?
I mean,
Oh no,
another
it's not going to
story?
be a direct sequel.
It can't because they kind of tied it up pretty solid there.
Okay, so it'll probably be like another kind of like Butterfly Effect too.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
So we might have to get reinvested.
I just want another Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah.
That's too much. Because I heard that the Marvel the Guardians of the Galaxy one was paced badly.
Like it was like what the?
Kate. It was Kate Marsh.
Oh, okay.
Kate Marsh. I love you, Kate.
I mean, you mean the actress formerly known as Kate Marsh because she's dead.
Well, she's not. Actually, you can say it.
I know you can say that.
And so I had.
But
legit,
I'm holding Cry's playthrough as canon, so she's dead.
No. I had legit bought that game just so I could say Kate. That was it. After watching that play, I couldn't let it sit. My soul was forever burnt. I had to go.
You're hearing it first. He bought a game just to save a character.
A fictional character. I had to do that. I love you, Kate Marsh. God. Man.
I mean, you can't be too upset. I mean, her attachment to life wasn't that strong.
Play the game. Play the game. You will see. You will get invested in this girl, man.
I've tried to watch it. It's literally just people talking.
Wow. And rewinding time. Okay.
So they can talk some more.
You can talk some more. And solve minor problems. Minor platforming.
That's
puzzles.
more. That sounds like slice of life, which is way more up DB's alley.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really
that's why it was strange seeing him play it.
I was into it. The story just got you there. It was like, okay, this girl. Really, Max wasn't that interesting of a character. I mean, yeah, she had her own little stripes and stuff she had to get over, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it was just everyone else around her, and he really built up the world around her. And it was just like, man, I could see myself sitting in the back of the classroom that they were in, and in this world. And I'm just like, I would legit go to war for that girl, man. Freaking Kate. That's, God, man. All
Too
right.
serious on it.
All right.
You hear all the nostalgia beats that they just hitting in sequence.
I gotta get
Exactly.
back. I gotta get away from it. I can't.
But
Should just get back into it. Might as well.
Dude, but I mean, no.
But yeah, no. As far as the next game, I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's probably not going to be as enveloping, but I mean, let's see.
I think they only intended for one to come out, and so the sequel is more of a their
Cash grab?
I don't want to say it's something as blatant as a cash grab,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess they have an opportunity. But to me, it's like the story's already been told. Do you
Right.
actually have another story in you? It's like I don't like for instance, I watched Jesse play Oxenfree, and I was legit into that. But that had a lot more weird occult and science stuff going on, along with the time traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends with a paradox. Whereas, in Life is Strange, it ends with like a storm coming to destroy reality, and you have to either choose to undo everything, or if I'm remembering this correctly, you have to choose to undo some things.
The only thing is, it's just like, it's the butterfly effect thing where you have to go and correct the very first thing that set the chain of events in motion. And that's why you had to go back and either decide to save Chloe or kill Chloe. Because she, in the original timeline, she's supposed to be dead. Like, she dies in that bathroom, and that's it. And, it kind of plays on, and this is a theory that I had for that game, too. It's like, It doesn't matter what decision you've made, because it works kind of like the multiverse thing. All the decisions are already been made.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if she went back, saved her, even if she ran and did this thing or that thing or whatever, it ultimately doesn't matter if your time traveling abilities is tied to other universes or other like multiverse branches, because that's what it actually got into when you went back in the game, and then it did this crazy inception
that
thing.
butterfly effect. You know how that thing is.
Every choice creates a new branch.
Right.
Pretty much.
It just didn't matter because she could constantly keep jumping back and forth through whatever.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It sounds like a weird, like Portlandia version of Steins Gate.
Okay.
If you really think about it like that way, because Steins Gate had the same basic problem.
Yeah.
Except it wasn't nearly as all-encompassing. It was just somebody was going to die. That person was going to die. There was nothing you could do. You could try 1,000 different solutions. You could stave it off for days, maybe weeks, but that person was inevitably going to die.
There's nothing you could do to save her.
And then Steins Gate decided to throw all of that good character building away because somebody needed a happy ending. Well, and I just wish that Yoko Taro was there to kick him in the nuts.
You can save Chloe. The thing is that everyone else directly tied to Chloe has to die. And that's what they established when they killed off...
But that's too blunt.
When they killed off her friend. No, it's because the timeline resetted itself regardless. So with that storm, anyone that could possibly change any event or have any effect on Chloe's life in the immediate frame and probably in the short-term range of her still being alive had to not exist in order for the world to continue like how it was.
Yeah, but that means that reality is a lot less flexible than people than people would imagine that it would be.
Oh yeah, but
because if one person living instead of dying would force the entire timeline to reset, that means the timeline is incredibly fragile. Because it's like saying that one person on a planet of millions, maybe even a few billion, one person making a few extra decisions is enough to force the entire system to crash. It's not a very good system.
I suppose, but then again, we're talking about theories and,
Well, you base that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking at. It's one extra set of decision trees, potentially blooming into a lot of decision trees, but just that one set of extra decision trees is enough to make the entire thing break. And that to me is,
Yeah. In the sense, it's...
Because, that means that if you go and you stop a rapist, from raping somebody, because you went back in time, that right there is enough to make the system break.
Unless you kill
Unless you're saying that if you do make alterations, if you do stop something, it has to end in a murder. Because the system obviously can't take extra weight on it. What happens when you start removing stuff from it? Would that also have such a severe backlash? Because to me, it's like you saved one person, and then they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, so they had to figure out a way to make everything okay, and they did it by forcing an extreme decision that really doesn't fit the context of anything else before it.
But if you think about it, though, because Chloe is alive, that changes in the game so many different things. It's like before. It's kind of hard to explain because I'm gonna have to get into the whole plot of the story. I'm pretty sure we don't have time for it, but it's like for her to still be alive, she has direct influence and control over her life for as long as she is going to actually live until she actually dies. So regardless as to everything that would happen when she was killed in that bathroom, you see, like, the boy doesn't get caught. He ends up going to prison or whatever, which means he doesn't kill himself like how he does if you save Chloe in the first place, which he kills himself because he's not actually the real killer. There's another killer, and he's the one that butchers up the girls after he rapes them and stuff and takes pictures of them or whatever. But it's still just, I don't know, the events play out to where the real person doesn't get the justice that, that they're due, and that's what the story is hinting at. Because once you let Chloe die, the dominoes fall and they all point to the real killer. But if she stays alive, the dominoes don't fall and they just permanently stay up, regardless of if you try to save someone or whatever. And ultimately, when you don't kill Chloe, you're the one that ends up getting killed by the killer. So if you really want to think about it, it's a decision whether you want to live or do you want to let your friend live.
But see, that's still really, really stupid, because if the guy's been going around, he has an MO, he has an modus operandi. That means that there are many different solutions to that problem.
There are, and actually one of those solutions has Chloe killed anyway, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Man.
That's the problem with time travel, is that once you start getting this shit like multiverse theory, everything swiftly becomes really, 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 really complex.
Just go for the ride, man.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Just fire up Tales from the Borderlands, punch finger guns,
and then
just go crazy.
God, that part was awesome. That was awesome.
No, the end sequence was awesome when they're all getting to when they all freaking get into Gortys, and then your team determines what powers it has.
Oh,
dude, all low percent. My entire team was low percentage. I had the craziest moves. That old doctor, dude, he's got Shoto moves. He's got fireballs and teleports.
That's pretty cool.
That's dope.
One of the other things the last thing I wanted to bring up, that everybody's on Injustice right now and everything, but Marvel is going to bring variant covers to their comics for the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Cool story, bro.
So,
I
mean, did you see how in the Marvel vs. the trailer for Infinite?
No, I have not seen the trailer for Infinite.
Basically, Sigma and Ultron combined together.
Yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah.
So it's like Ultra Sigma?
Yes.
Ultron Sigma?
Yes, it's basically Ultra Sigma.
Ultra Sigma.
Yeah.
You can see him doing the Akuma pose, just
which is pretty cool. The way that they did it. I'm still kind of iffy about the game to begin with, but variant covers be very interesting.
Wait, they're
to see.
fighting Ultron?
They're fighting Ultron and Sigma from Mega Man
time.
10. Mega Man X.
Ultron.
Why do Injustice and Marvel vs. Capcom have essentially the same plot?
Oh, man.
Because Brainiac is the main villain of Injustice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ultron, another highly evolved, intelligent life being, is fusing with a involved, intelligent, artificial being to create an ultra version of an evolved, efficient, artificial being to fight everybody else. And because Ultron can create clones, just like Brainiac can create betas,
remember that. Well, the difference is, remember that Sigma wanted to basically have all, if I'm not mistaken, have all of the Reploids, like, basically rule the world. And
I mean, well, humanity is extinct in the X universe, eventually, so it does technically happen.
I don't know, man. I just think they just wanted a reason to attach Ultron's head on Sigma's body.
Well, see, here's the funny joke: is that Sigma's in it. Where's Mega Man?
Mega Man X is in it.
Where's Mega Man?
He's in Smash Brothers. Leave him alone.
He's
Let him play there.
He's taking a little vacay.
Let him play there. It's like, remember in the last Marvel vs. Capcom, they had X. And
yeah, but I mean, if you don't have Mega Man, how can you add Robo?
I mean, no, not X. They had
Zero.
They had Zero, and everybody.
We don't talk about Zero.
And everybody lost their shit. Everybody was like, well, how come you don't give X any play anymore? It's like, you just shit on Mega Man. And then they came out with Smash Brothers and brought the original Mega Man. And they were like, how come Mega Man is like just reduced to this cast of like, you know, Nintendo characters and all friendly and stuff? But hey, guess what? Now Capcom is working with Marvel the most. And
now they're working? Dude, they have been.
Well, they're working with Marvel, which is now basically Disney. So it's even more family friendly and stuff.
Which is hurting.
Capcom presents.
Yeah.
Marvel versus Kingdom Hearts.
God, that would hurt my soul forever.
I
don't. Okay, no, stop.
You know, a lot of people want it though. A lot of people want it.
You just see Black Widow go up against Jack Sparrow.
If that doesn't end in a sexual harassment lawsuit, they didn't do it right.
Oh man!
So you wear that to work?
Oh yeah. So this is.
Gonna say so. I'm not gonna say it.
Well,
your filter's working. Congratulations.
I have to. I can't do that. Oh man, we might have a few female listeners. It's all right. It's all right.
Huh? I think we lost that one a while ago.
Oh snap!
All right. Whenever you're finished.
Okay. Oh man.
All right. So this has been the Backroom Crew podcast. If you like this, give us a like and share. Comment down below what was your favorite part about it. And remember, check us out on, the BRC guys. Check out our Facebook at Backroom Crew 1, Twitter, Twitch at The Backroom Crew. And we will see you guys next time. This has been DB.
This has been Wesley. Avoiding any sexual harassment lawsuits.
Don't believe him.
No snap.
And that was Dre. And we'll see you guys next time. Remember, social class, act like you've been somewhere before. Peace.